So our next Zombies map, Richthofen's Mansion in Liberty Falls, is already on the way. I think it's supposed to come out next month. And while we don't have a ton of concrete information about what it's going to be like, these teasers are pretty exciting and I figured I could at least share my hopes and expectations for the map. Rumor has it that it's going to be another small map, kind of like Liberty Falls and the Tomb, which seems a little ironic for a mansion, but I did like the Tomb. I think it's a very fun map, so if the next one is going to be like it, then that's fine by me. I imagine it's going to be more of a close quarters experience with smaller, cluttered rooms, narrow passageways, and a lot of corners for zombies to hide around. At least that's the impression that I get from this image of the banquet hall. But we've also got the motor court and the foyer, which seem to be more open, so maybe this map's going to be more of a mixture. Though I'm not sure how well a claustrophobic indoor experience would do in Black Ops 6. It worked in the older games because the zombies were so slow and there were barriers to keep them back, but now they're faster, more aggressive, more numerous, and there's no barriers, so it could end up being a really challenging experience. Especially depending on the special enemies that they choose to include. Supposedly neither amalgams nor abominations will be making an appearance, which is good because guys like them who are fast, have a lot of health, and do a lot of damage would not be very fun to play against on a compact map. Assuming of course that is what the mansion is going to be like. Personally, I think it would be really cool if we got a map with just regular zombies on it. We haven't had one of those in a very long time, but I'm sure that there's still going to be special and elite enemy types, you know, for the camos and stuff. It'd be cool if we got something brand new, but I don't really mind if they reuse something from the past so long as it works with the environment. Which to me would mean something that doesn't directly attack you, but finds other ways of messing with you. Some people have suggested Disciples, which would work. They're kinda weak, not very threatening by themselves, and an easy target as they float above the horde, but they can create a lot of trouble by powering up the other zombies and it would make them a priority target. They'd also fit in with all the cult stuff that's associated with the mansion, plus they're already in the campaign, so obviously they're going to show up in zombies at some point. But if it were up to me, I would have ghosts be a special enemy type. According to Blanchard's audio log from Liberty Falls, a lot of people have died here, so it's probably a very haunted place. How they would behave, I'm not sure. They could just steal your points like they did on Buried, I wouldn't really mind that. It would make them a reused enemy type, so some people might take issue with it, but Buried did come out 12 years ago, so I think it would be okay. Though even if they're not a type of enemy, I just want more ghosts and zombies. Maybe it's because I've been playing Phasmophobia recently, but I want to hear strange noises and see things moving on their own. Maybe even catch a glimpse of a ghostly figure. Stuff to make me feel like I'm not alone, or even unwelcome on these maps. They've done that before, and with the mansion's dark history, it'd be a perfect time to do it again. But speaking of histories, the story of this map is what I am most looking forward to. The Tomb was pretty bare bones in this regard, so I'm hoping it'll be different this time. The teasers we've gotten so far have had excerpts from Richthofen's personal log, so I imagine that this map is going to be largely focused on him. What he wants, what he's trying to do, how he's trying to do it, and what eventually went wrong. Maybe we'll finally get to hear those conversations between him and Kraft. And I think that this is further evidenced by the possibility of Maluka coming back for the Easter egg song, a prediction based solely on this interaction between her and Kevin Sherwood. Now, I really like how these songs in Black Ops 6 have all had new singers so far because, as much as I love Elena, Clark, and Maluka, their voices were part of the Ether story, and so having new voices to take their place symbolizes how things have changed. Characters from the past may be gone and things may be different now, but a lot of the core aspects, both from a gameplay and story perspective, remain the same. And yeah, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I think it's really cool. Anyway, if this map is going to be focused on Richthofen, a holdover from the old timeline, then it makes sense to bring back a singer from that part of the story too. And Maluka would be a good choice. She was the lead singer for songs like Dead Flowers and Where Are We Going 2018, which were pretty Richthofen-centric songs. Though I doubt that we're actually going to see him. I think it's way too early in the game's lifecycle for the crew to find him just yet, especially if they continue to give us a new map with every season. But who they will find is Chief of Security John Blanchard, who will probably still be holed up in the mansion's command center, assuming that his luck stuck around in the last 10 days. I mean, that outbreak is still ongoing, right? The end of Liberty Falls didn't make it very clear, and I guess Modern Warfare Zombies suggested that it was over by February 23rd, which was 5 days before this map is supposed to take place. But then the Tomb's outro kinda makes it look like the mansion is still in an outbreak zone, and obviously there's going to be zombies when we're there, so maybe the timeline has been changed. Well, if he is still trapped in there, then it's going to make for a very interesting group dynamic. Our main crew is pretty anti-Project Janus, Blanchard is part of Project Janus. The main crew is going to need Blanchard's help to find Richthofen, and Blanchard probably will need the crew's help to escape the mansion. Though, based on his dialogue from Liberty Falls, Blanchard already suspects that his employer may be responsible for the outbreak, and I think that he will betray them once he has proof of it. Then he could join the main cast and bring his signature Blanchard charm to every future map. Or maybe he'll be delusional after spending 10 days trapped in there and won't accept that Richthofen is responsible. And hopefully we can also get an update on Panos. I'm sure that Blanchard's going to want to track him down after his betrayal, but one character that I do really want to see again is Natso. If you don't know who Natso is, that's okay. I forgot about her too until she was referenced in the tomb, and even then not by name. She showed up briefly in the cutscenes for Mauer and Forsaken, and there was another reference to her in Modern Warfare Zombies, but other than that, she was relegated to the Intel in Cold War. Natso, as in not so fluffy, was Samantha's Rottweiler, though Weaver and Gray did also look after her. I'm kind of hoping to find out what happened to her 6 years ago when all of her caretakers were either imprisoned or trapped in other dimensions. I'm sure that Richthofen would have kept her, though probably to experiment on rather than as a pet. Otherwise we probably would have seen her in the Liberty Falls intro, and his mansion is going to be the most likely place to find evidence of this. This is probably going to lead to the creation of Hellhounds, which looked an awful lot like Rottweilers in Modern Warfare, and while this would be a cool parallel between the two timelines, Hellhounds kind of already exist in the Dark Ether story, so it would be kind of weird to give them an origin now. But what if, instead, Natso was mutated into some kind of monstrous guard dog, and she is the final boss? How messed up would that be if they made us kill Samantha's dog while we were trying to save her? It would certainly be difficult for the characters, especially the ones that were close to Sam. Though I wouldn't be surprised if the final encounter is a fight against Sam, the AI. This photo does kind of look like a boss fight arena, just so long as the final boss is not the T-Rex. Some people have pointed out that its position has changed since we last saw it, and so they're theorizing that it might come to life at the end of the Easter egg, but I think that would be a little too much like Citadel with the Guardian, so I'm hoping that this is just an artistic change and it doesn't actually mean anything. Alright, what else is there? The Wunderwaffe is probably coming back, but that's not much of a surprise. I'll be happy with it though, I've always loved that weapon, and if this map does have a tight layout like I'm expecting it to, then the lightning chains will be good for killing zombies around corners. Especially if they change it so that you can chain more than 10 zombies at a time. But the splash damage would also make it dangerous to use without PhD Flopper, and I love a wonder weapon that can be just as dangerous to you as it is to the zombies. It makes using them much more tense. Let's see here, I really hope that we get another good Pack-a-Punch camo. The Tomb had a good one, so I am hopeful. Maybe it'll be something inspired by the Chaos story, since it's so prevalent to Black Ops 6. Actually, what if we just got the Pack-a-Punch machine, altar, statue thing from the Chaos maps? It was a really cool design, and I would love to see them use it again, especially because we've already got the Sentinel artifact. Maybe it could be some ancient relic that the cult had back in the day. What if we could find the old Perk statues as well? We know that they're still using the traditional vending machine ones, but I mean they could still be like Easter eggs or something. But yeah, that's all I've got for the moment. I am certainly looking forward to this map and the next chapter in the story, and I sure hope that it can live up to the hype. And go ahead and let me know what you are looking forward to as well. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that I haven't seen or even considered yet.